Hey there, gladiators. Welcome to the Scandal After Show here at theStream.tv. I'm your host, Jocelyn Polite, and no, we have not lost our minds. We have not gone all Mellie on you. We are dressed up as for Halloween, and we're celebrating Halloween here at theStream.tv all week long on your favorite after shows. And wow, should we just go ahead and get a seat for Fitz as command of the next B613? I mean, does he seem like he's ready? I think so. But let's go through some introductions. And first, I want to introduce Janessa.
Hello, everybody. Happy Halloween Eve. I'm so excited.
Okay, and next, I want to introduce Jillian.
Hey guys, and I know these look like cat ears, but this year for Halloween, I'm gonna make them bear ears and be Lizzie Bear.
Okay, and last but not least, Jason.
Let's get ready to gladiate, guys.
Whoa.
I get it now.
I know, there's a gladiator on the couch. That's awesome.
My goodness.
Yeah. I've joined
Best
OPA.
costume. Best
Okay,
costume
well,
so far.
we are an interactive show, so we want you to interact with us tonight. You can tweet us using the hashtag ScandalAS. You can also tell a friend and join us on YouTube chat. Make sure that you find the stream and join us on YouTube chat. We want your questions. We want your comments. We want to hear about what you think about tonight's episode, so send it all to us. Towards the end of the show, we're going to read some questions, and we would love to read your question on the show tonight. You definitely have time to get it in. So, okay, we are starting off tonight with, there was a lot going on, and let me tell you right up front, like Olivia, what went on with this whole thing? Is Olivia, I mean, what's going on with Olivia tonight?
I have to say, first of all, that opening scene was the best open of any show I've seen in a long time. I thought it set up the episode.
The water was just, it looked so great. I wanted to jump into that water.
Really
That's what we're talking about, right?
Well, you know, that and some other things. But I really thought it set up the show so great because she was just going back and forth all night, and that's exactly what she was dreaming about. I loved that moment.
Well, I know, I tweeted out, I said, you know, I think sex is better when your hair is curly and frizzy. So, I mean, it looked like she was having a good time on the beach romping around. I said that several episodes ago, and so we got to see it tonight. She was going back and forth, but she was flashing faces, and that was like really interesting because she couldn't really settle on one person. We didn't really think that she was all that deep into Jake, but you know what? She really has feelings for Jake.
She is.
They've definitely developed.
I think she is.
I feel like
so
she was a side character this episode, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we saw in the show that Jake, do we feel like Jake gave up too easy? I know we're kind of going towards the end of the show, but I want to talk about that because we want to get into what's happening with Olivia, Fitz, and Jake. Do you feel like Jake gave up too easy? He just seemed to kind of give it away.
I don't think he's about to give up. I mean, I feel like he's gonna get a second wind like really soon. I feel like, I don't know, he's gonna find his way out of jail maybe, or I don't know. I feel like something's gonna happen. I discovered that I like Jake a lot, so I feel like I'm rooting for him to just
I'm alone.
get his second
You are
win.
alone.
So alone.
I feel like every time Jake, you know, quote unquote, gives up or doesn't try as hard with Olivia, she always ends up kind of wanting him more. I think that's actually him being smarter than a lot of the other people because he knows it's always a back and forth. She's never gonna choose him. She's always waiting for Fitz when she's with him. So he's kind of saying, I know you're not gonna pick me, it's okay. But that always makes her kind of want him more, I think.
But you know, I have to say, because that kind of moves into the question that I have is, will Olivia ultimately choose Jake? Because I used to think that Jake was just kind of like, you know, the booty call. But I don't know. I think she has some real feelings for Jake. I think she's really affected by the fact that he's in there. And, I know he said that he's second best, and he was basically like, I know you're going to choose Fitz, but I'm not 100% sure that I know it's not the Fitz-Olivia thing, so Olitz fans don't hate me, but I definitely think there's some emotion and some passion between her and Jake. I think she cares.
I'm not rooting for him that hard.
She definitely showed her true colors at the end when she told Fitz that there's still some hope between them. So I don't think she's going to choose Jake, thankfully, anymore. I mean, I was the first one to say Jake gave up too easy, even though I've never been Team Jake. But I agree with Jillian. It did seem like Jake was kind of manipulating her a little bit in the way he kind of gave up, which he really didn't.
Yeah.
But
He's playing a game.
Exactly.
That's the way of
aren't we
flirting.
all?
Well, I think Olivia's playing a game too, because, I mean, if you really think about it, I mean, you know, let me just be honest on this couch. I mean, you know, if you don't know how he feels about you, make him jealous. That's what I think. And she's definitely got Jake in the game. Fitz do you think he's feeling the challenge? Because he seems like he's kind of feeling.
Oh, Fitz is in that
so
game.
driven by Olivia. I mean, at the end, you saw he didn't want to do anything, and it's like, okay, well, there's hope. Well, if there's hope, then I'll do whatever you want, sweetheart, my love. Like, to me, it's just so ridiculous. I think that she was manipulating him at that moment, saying that there was hope so that he would do what she wanted, because she always was on the side of the right. She's always wants to try and be right. So I think she knows Jake didn't do it. So it's kind of, trying to get what she wants.
The way he was pressuring her to answer his question too.
You guys didn't like that. I didn't like it. I thought that was old school, like Fitz and Olivia. I was like saying kiss, kiss, kiss. I wanted them to like kiss or something, and you guys didn't like that.
I didn't
like it
bullying her.
Yeah,
he was like intimidating her and everything. I was
it
like,
was pure intimidation, always with him.
Oh my God! Well, we're going to talk about that a little bit more, but I want to move into Mellie. The Uggs came off, and is Mellie back?
She's back. She's back.
She's acting like a lady, and you know what? She's about to do something really big. She's about to like start something like
She's
what I saw a
inspired.
lot in this episode, a lot of feminism, which was really cool. They talked about that a lot, and I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
I loved hearing the parallels between, that old Cooper president who passed away and his wife saying, I did everything. My husband was, off with other women and I did everything. That's kind of, I feel like, what Mellie used to do. I mean, remember when Fitz was on the floor and he was drinking and Mellie's like, okay, what are we going to do? She called Olivia, which is kind of, whatever, but she was the one who was in charge. So I feel like she saw a lot of similarities, and now that she's back, I'm so excited to see what's going to happen with her.
I loved Miss Cooper because I feel like, if you're not sure about where you are, and I know that we felt like Mellie has been completely off with this, and we feel like Mellie doesn't really, she's had to deal with, her husband being in love with another woman, all of this stuff that's been happening, in the White House from Defiance on to what's happening now. And I just feel like at that point, you need to talk to somebody that's been there before. And this woman has been there before. This woman has sat in that seat, and it's just like she said, oh, your husband only had one? Huh, my husband had like 2 or 3.
Right.
You're lucky he only had one.
It's
You
like
know what I
your
mean?
mentor,
Amazing.
kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so nice, like, that Mellie has someone to kind of, like, have a martini with and, like, kick back and talk about how awful their husbands are.
Yeah, talk about their
or-
husbands' infidelities.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that
I
was
love
cute.
that.
I felt like it was First Ladies with a side of vodka.
It was
I like the
amazing.
whole thing. You
I
know
like
what I'm
that.
saying? Like out on the veranda, they were out there talking and just, Mellie's kind of getting the inside scoop from someone that's older, more seasoned, and has been there before. And I don't know, I just kind of thought that was pretty cool. But do we feel like Mellie is back in the game? Do you feel like Mellie
Yeah,
has
she's definitely
purpose, I guess you could
empowered.
say.
She's like, Mellie's coming back, and she's gonna come back strong because she took her stand. She's like, at first she was like, oh, I'm gonna be the first lady right now, which is what the country needs, to stand by my husband and smile and support him. So I'm not gonna make any comments about the military bases closing. I'm just gonna stand in my corner, smile and wave. And then at the end, we saw her take a stand in front of the entire press and say, like, you know what? I'm going to be real with you. This is what's going on, and my husband would never do that because he's a Navy man.
Yeah,
So she took control. Do you
She
think
took
that
control.
was? But do you think that was a result of like talking to Mrs. Cooper and kind of
Totally.
figuring that
I
out?
think that like if you're wavering before of like what's Mellie gonna do, the fact that at the end she came out and didn't even discuss it with Fitz, was just her own woman and said, you know what, I'm always here doing stuff while you're with Olivia. I'm gonna stand up and make a point, and I loved it. And she only mentioned fried chicken once this week. So,
Yeah.
so that was a huge plus.
And it was like a stab at Fitz,
Yeah,
too. So.
I feel like, how, I forget her name.
Which one, Miss Cooper?
Her like mentor, yes, Miss
Yes.
Cooper. How she was saying, I basically run the whole White House and I push my husband to do this. I feel like we're gonna see Mellie do that now and like push the whole thing. I think that's gonna be awesome because I think she'd make a great president.
Yep,
I think
season
she
one
would be
Mellie is
awesome
back.
too. I can't wait to see. I'm glad that she has the dress back on and she's out of her bathrobe. But before we move on to more topics, we want to give a shout out to some of our favorite blogs, and we want you to follow them now for all of your news, gossip, and great pictures about Scandal. We get all of our information from some of these blogs. We kind of get online and troll through and see what's going on. And so we want you to follow them and get your information. Also, check out at Scandalicious05, at ABC Scandal 911, and at ABC Scandal Fans. Follow them now. Okay, so what about I kind of brought this up. I was saying, does OPA work with 3 people? I'm not feeling OPA with 3 people.
It teeters.
But I think Abby.
Tears.
It teeters. Like,
It
it's
teeters.
like, it does, it doesn't, it does.
I mean, in this episode, it was really 2 people, really.
Yeah.
'Cause Huck was on the computer, which we later found out why after. But I kind of think Abby is on her way back in. We'll see when, but I think that she's coming back because she is just so not wanted in the White House.
Well, and she's going off on people in the White House. Do you guys think that she's going to get fired from the White House? I mean, she's like, he's the commander in chief, he's the president. You're also talking about, Cyrus, whose position is extremely high. And here comes Gabby. And
Red.
she's like going on, red, I know. And she's going off, on them, basically telling them, especially telling Fitz about himself. So, I mean, do you feel like Abby is on her way out? Do you feel like she's going to be leaving the White House in the coming episodes?
I mean, I hope so, because, you know, I used to watch the show when it basically surrounded OPA, but now it surrounds more the White House. Well, I mean, I guess it always has a little, yeah, basically. But I mean, I'd like to see OPA via posse again.
I mean, I definitely thought she was on her way out at the beginning when she stood up to the president and kind of overstepped her boundaries and Cyrus put her in her place almost. But we did see at the end of the episode, she basically laid out all her cards in front of Cyrus and was like, I know you have been sleeping with this guy. I know you rented a 1-bedroom. You started a new cell phone plan. So you can't kick me out because I got dirt on you.
You're talking about Cyrus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did that to Cyrus.
I hope that she goes back to OPA. I liked seeing her with Olivia, and I kind of liked, as ridiculous as it was, seeing her stand up to the president and talk about his knuckles and, you know, call him out. I loved that. So it's amazing when Olivia and Abby are friends and they're supportive of each other, how much better Abby is.
Well, I don't particularly think that Quinn and Huck are enough for OPA. I think that there is definitely, I mean, whether we want to admit it or not, there's definitely a missing piece with Harrison being gone. It is. Harrison was that character that kind of, you know, he was the manipulator, the master manipulator. He had that swag. Right. He had that thing about him where he could just kind of go in and talk his way into a situation. And we don't have a character like that right now. And so I think something's missing. And I think we need a character that comes in like that.
I agree.
Do you guys remember, this was brought up in one of the YouTube comments, season 1, there was a British character that was kind of like up to par with Olivia Pope. They were kind of like the heads of the, do you remember that?
Yes, I remember him, yes.
Do you think he can come back now, is the question? I just remembered. I read this on one of the YouTube comments. And I
don't know. He's gonna have to
smart.
be suave and dapper because honestly, I do remember him. But and I remember that season. But
Right.
Harrison just took over that role of being that way. So I understood him going out and getting married. And I don't remember what he did. But let us know if you remember exactly where he went. But I know that like Harrison kind of came in with that role. And I know we're not going to replace him exactly, but we need
But there
another
needs
Harrison.
to be someone come in again and take that role.
Didn't Harrison die?
Yeah.
Harrison died, but they're missing someone, so we need somebody else.
I feel like that energy was kind of like a Jake energy, how he came in and he was super strong and he handled it and he supported her, but obviously that's not going to happen. So we just need somebody else who has, you know, kind of
take control.
Totally take control.
Well, talking about taking control,
But
what
not
about
command.
not command? Well, I was going to say, who's in command of the president? Because the president is getting punked by command. I mean, let's just be honest. He's getting punked. I mean, Papa Pope, Eli, Rowan, he has so many names. I don't even know what to call him. But he pretty much sat there with the president as he drank his, bourbon or scotch or whatever, and told him how things are going to be and how things need to be. So, I mean, who's really in control right now?
I feel like Fitz is kind of like a lonely boy right now, and anyone can control him. Anyone can tell him what to do.
He frustrated me so much tonight.
Yeah.
Every time Fitz came on, I just had rolled my eyes, could not care less. He is the president. I mean, how are you that weak of a person where anyone can say or do anything? Like, Olivia says, okay, there's a chance, and he does a 180. Or, you know, Papa Pope just tells him everything he wants to hear, and all of a sudden he's forgetting all the things that Papa Pope did. I could not stand Fitz tonight.
But did Olivia say there's a chance? But he backed her into a wall.
Right.
He was
We
like,
don't really
so
know.
you're right, exactly. He was pretty much saying, if you don't say there's a chance, I'm going to kill this man that I can't stand that you love.
All she said was what he wanted to hear. But there's just this really weird
But
back
she's
and forth.
feels
The
it
way
too,
the
'cause-
show goes, I could easily see Olivia being like, nah, no, I'm just gonna not. But I feel like she did mean it when she said that there is a
Exactly.
chance. The way the show goes, it's usually what happens, and I like that there's a chance. She's not gonna ever end up with Jake. She's gonna end up with Fitz.
Well, I just think it's interesting now. She always kind of says no with Fitz when Jake is around, but now Jake isn't around. So it'll be curious to see if it's not Fitz, it's kind of no one. So
I kind of saw, you know what, I saw Fitz in a different light tonight. I don't know, he was kind of a punk and a wuss. I'm sorry. I mean, he's at Olivia's door, knocking on the door. You know, it was kind of reminiscent of season 1 and 2 and stuff when he used to have Secret Service take him to the door and all that kind of stuff. And I just saw him in a different light tonight, and I didn't like him tonight. I don't know, he just seemed like, I know maybe they're trying to make him be a stronger character or something, but I think we've seen him go through so much in the past, from drinking in the shower to suicide attempts to falling on the floor crying. It's just hard to see him now beating up on people, banging on doors and threatening people. It's just a bit, you know.
He's an enigma, I would say. I feel like he's the one character in this entire series that has never been really clearly defined. His character fluctuates so much. We never know if he's the strong, masculine character, the pining after the woman character, the I don't know what to do with myself character. Like, I don't know what they're going to do with this.
I've always called Olivia an enigma. An enigma.
Yeah.
I've always been like, if people met her, they would never know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, if she was a real person. But that's so true. He really is.
But do you guys think that Command is going to get karma? Because I feel like he's out of control. He's going around like threatening
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
and going off and killing
yes.
people. Is he going to get? Do you think that Command is going to get his karma?
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
Olivia pretty much kind of threw down the gauntlet at the end of the episode when she was like, I have my own weapons, so don't mess with me because I can get my stuff done too.
Yeah.
Which plays into who's controlling the president, Olivia or Papa Poke.
Right.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
very valid.
And she does have weapons that he does not have, and I think
And
you
they
guys
are
kind of
very
know what they
physical
are.
weapons.
Exactly.
I mean, he will
right.
never be
And
able to
she was
possess
so
them.
happy when she said that too.
She was so strong. So it was
Yeah.
really, I mean, the whole part of this episode that I really enjoyed was that Olivia got stronger and stronger, I thought, throughout it. But there's a whole element of she couldn't help Jake, who was innocent, but she was trying to help somebody else who everyone thought was guilty. If
Yeah.
that kind of makes sense. So I really enjoyed her at that moment at the end where she was like, you know, I can do it too. Don't, mess with me. But
Yeah.
Fitz was just, ugh.
Well, I also love, before we get to, because we're going to move on to some shout outs, but I also love that they kind of got back to, because at first I saw her drinking the wine and I'm like, Lord, we're going to have another episode of her like getting, drunk off of wine. But she was swimming. And we know that from the past that when she hits that pool, there's a lot of thinking going on. So I think that, we kind of got back to that, Olivia. I think she's on her way back to what we all want to see. But, I don't know. Oh, y'all are looking at me. Do you?
I agree.
No, I do. I'm honestly just thinking about how we might get I might get a lot of flack on social media for how anti-Fitz I am right now.
No, it's okay.
I've been
going through
anti-Fitz,
my mind.
anti-Jake,
It's
I've
just
been
going through my mind how
anti-everyone.
this episode he just killed me.
Okay, well, we want you guys to join us on the stream's YouTube chat. We want you to send us your questions. We still have time before we get to our questions, and so we want you to join us. We love for you to join the conversation. All the blogs and everything out there, we want you guys to get involved and join the conversation. Every week we sit on this couch, and we want you to be a part of it. So, all right, we're going to actually go to some questions, but first we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Just in case you missed it live.
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 In case you missed it live, I'm not fake, I'm so real, okay?
Hey, who's excited?
She's a little superhero slut because she's so. I just pissed everybody off.
She's like such a glamazon.
Join the writer's team because you are hot.
And I loved it.
That is like tension beyond belief.
I found her to be deliciously out of control.
We were all just looked at each other, just like, ah.
So we can assume that you've written letters to inmates before.
Give me the diamonds. I need them for my wife.
Take charge and kill everyone.
This Holocaust coffin!
You were agreeing with me, so I think it was a great point. You know, you can't count anything out.
Yes, yes.
Yes, oh my God.
What's your shoe size? My size.
Well, that was pretty awesome.
Oh my God.
Totally.
Make sure to join all and watch all of your favorite after shows here at theStream.tv. Okay, we're going to move into some fan questions, and we're going to start off with fan question number 1 from Lillian HP. Was that a cyanide pill that Rowan slipped to Tom in the end of the interrogation?
I saw that whole hand-holding thing, and I didn't know. So I love that that's a theory. I didn't know. I was genuinely curious. What do you guys think?
I had no idea, and really, honestly, I had no idea. And I rewatched the episode, and I saw Rowan, I don't know what to call him, you know what I mean, holding Tom's hand, and I thought, okay, these are two grown men holding hands. There's no reason for them to hold hands, because he already put his hand on his shoulder, which was basically to indicate, I want you to say what I need you to say. But when they started holding hands, I'm like, did he give him something? Then I paid even closer attention when they put him in handcuffs. I'm talking Tom. His hand was closed when he went in the handcuffs, so something is in his hand.
We gotta, hopefully, we haven't seen Tom since that moment, so.
Caught none of that. So thank you guys for making me aware of this, because I didn't even, that's a great theory. I didn't.
Yeah.
We haven't seen Tom, so we
No.
don't know.
So we don't know what's going on. And thank you, Lillian HP for that one because that was awesome, and I only caught that when I watched it again.
Lillian, you are so cool. That is so cool. I didn't know that.
So specific.
Yes. Okay, well, let's move to fan question number 2. This one's from Lady Zelda 333. Will Katelyn, the MILF, become a gladiator or member of OPA?
No.
That's interesting.
No. She'll throw off the entire like balance, the whole like dynamic. No.
Well, hopefully she's got to get out of jail first. That would be step one.
But somebody had a theory about her when we were watching. One of you guys were talking about Katelyn. I can't remember exactly what was said, but it was something about her. I don't think that she would be a good member of OPA, only because she's too Abby-ish and they all went to school together and there's too many similarities for me. And plus, you heard me say, I think that they need a guy, another man, to balance off. But I definitely would love to see another member. I just don't know if it would be Katelyn. She wouldn't really be going.
We're going to see more of her, though, at some point, just a matter of when. But I like that theory because, as we said, we need someone else.
Exactly.
As part of OPA.
Okay, well, let's move on to fan question number 3. This one's from Forever Johnny Boy. Hey, what's up, Forever Johnny Boy? All right, do you think Mellie being back on her feet seemingly well and strong again and her discussion with former First Lady could indicate her own run for presidency after Fitz ends? Okay, you are speaking Jason's language.
Yeah.
Jason and Janessa's language. I'm so into that. That is yes.
She needs to run for president. Definitely. I don't think she'll be like the next president after Fitz, but they're definitely eventually, if this goes on further.
She's got that power buzz in her.
She's the Hillary Clinton of this series, is what I'm saying.
I'm gonna leave that to you guys because I just want Mellie to be a mother to her children and just get all that together.
But she can do that while having a formidable career.
But she doesn't seem like she can even handle being a first lady. How on earth is she gonna handle being president?
Well, because her husband's cheating on her.
She's still gonna be cheating.
The question is, can Fitz handle being first husband?
No way.
Oh, no.
That's the question.
He'll just go to Vermont and make jam.
Actually, there's something actually like that because I feel like he doesn't even want responsibility. He just wants to like fool around with his mistresses.
Exactly.
So I think he would like that.
I just hope that she, now she'll be stronger in the Mellie that we used to know. I think that now it's a sign that she'll probably just run everything for Fitz.
Okay, well, before we go out, one last topic that we have to talk about is Cyrus. Like, Cyrus, now, I was talking about people being off their game last week. Before Cyrus, like, is he a sugar daddy?
Yes.
Yes.
He is.
I think that was very clear.
He's funding folks.
Oh
like,
my
that's
God.
what he's
Go
doing.
to massage, go do this, go do that. He is such a sugar daddy, but I like the story.
He just can't do anything right.
Apartments.
I don't know.
He's just so
He
sad.
just wants love, huh? Poor
Yeah.
Cyrus.
He
Okay,
does.
well,
I
we'll
think
see what's
he's
up with
falling
him.
for
He's
him.
definitely not being as devious quite yet that we've seen in the past, so I can't wait to see what's up with him this season. But we want to give a couple of more Twitter shout-outs to @Jski317, @BreezyBree232, and @Scandal_passion. Get involved, talk to us. We're going to talk to you, tweet us. We would just want to keep talking Scandal. We have a long way to go and we have way more to talk about. So I thought this episode was still kind of slow. I'm still waiting for a rev up. I don't know. I'm unrealistic. I want it to be insane every single week.
I thought this episode there was so much. Personally, I was like, what? Oh my God. Like at the end with the file, when they pulled the Olivia photos out, I said, oh my God, I want to know.
She's
I can't
a
wait till
target
next
now.
week.
She is.
I feel like this whole episode, there was a lot of really good stuff to talk about.
And I am
loved
so
it.
excited to know where who's hunting down Olivia.
Right.
I'm so excited.
I'm so confused.
For that.
Yeah.
I love every minute.
We're definitely going to get to all of that. And to meet us back here each week, we want you to subscribe, click like, and comment below. We love the conversations that you have going in the comment sections. I know many of us are responding and we're talking to you, and we love it very much. So we'll be back here next week. We want to wish you a happy and safe Halloween, and we will see you next week for the next episode of Scandal here on theStream.tv. Night, gladiators.
Do it. Do it now.